I think this is a tale of McDonald's love affair with TV over time.
McDonald's work is at its best when it's holding a mirror up to real life.
McDonald's is everyone. There are 3 million people that go in every day.
We're now in our 50th consecutive quarter of growth, and we know that TV has helped us get there. Well, McDonald's has been around for over 40 years now. It's been incredibly successful, and the success is maintained to date. I think if we kind of roll back a few years to 2007, the business was kind of showing declining sales, declining brand metrics, and it was time to kind of take a bit of a step back, work out our strategy. So the business did a lot of work on where do we want to go, what's our ambition, and set out a very ambitious target of becoming the UK's most loved restaurant brand. And since then, this developed into a whole comms framework of kind of what does marketing do, what role does it play in achieving that strategy, and therefore how do different campaign archetypes fit within that.
So McDonald's has quite a strict communications model that it uses to guide all its communications, and there are sort of 4 central pillars to that. There's one around driving a sense of brand affinity, which is celebrating the truths of how people interact with McDonald's. There's a pillar focused on trust. It's about addressing misconceptions about the brand and driving sort of a reappraisal about food quality. There are 2 then other pillars, one which is around variety and driving a sense of excitement around the brand, new food news, and then there's a value pillar that focuses directly on that, be it a 99p cheeseburger, and sort of celebrating those aspects of the brand too.
TV broadcast media is absolutely huge on our plans. We are a mass market brand. We have over 3 million people coming into our restaurants every single day from all walks of life.
Which makes it really hard when you're doing creative briefs, because you see, oh, what's the target audience? Well, it's everyone. Which means you've got to then sort of try and find a human truth that works across the board at a sort of a quite democratic level that the brand operates at. And naturally, when you're doing campaigns that are about driving love for the brand and salience, TV is the obvious channel to use for that, because it gives you that unrivaled reach, but it also allows you to tell those more emotive stories that can resonate across the nation, and give you that sense of fame that ultimately the brand is there to do, is aspiring to achieve.
The number of spots that happen on the McDonald's TV campaign are insane. Across the different campaigns that we run between 3 and 4, 5 on TV, and there are 871 daily spots roughly on average. TV 365 days a year. The team are always buying TV, they're always booking TV, and they are definitely always busy. McDonald's share of voice is really important, and it's something we measure on a weekly basis. And if we see that share of voice drop, then we see footfall drop, which obviously has an impact on ROI.
Viewing is changing, and people are kind of watching when they want, how they want, what they want, and therefore we need to reflect that in our planning. So we've taken a stepped approach, and every year kind of looked at what can linear TV achieve in terms of reach, where are people going, and therefore how do we top up our reach by using things like BVOD.
It's a very highly modelled account, and as such we kind of have this excellent base in which we can build on. And it's not just about reach for us at McDonald's on broadcast VOD, it's about frequency as well. So we can use broadcast VOD to redistribute the frequency that is lost on TV. So it may well be that Love Island is getting the majority of 1634s once, but actually we want them to see that 3 or 4 times. So we can use broadcast VOD to help with that redistribution.
Obviously, 40 years is a hell of a long time to be on the high street, and a bastion of the high street at that. And it was a huge deal internally. But the harsh truth was that punters didn't really care. You're 40, great, who cares? I just need a cheeseburger, please. The way we approached that was to look at the role of the brand over that period of time.
It was very much flipped to the customer lens. So how have they experienced McDonald's over 40 years, and how can we play that out to make them feel warm about the brand and remember all those lovely moments?
The brand has been there for people over that period of time, from big moments to small moments.
So we found X Factor, and we found the highest performing ad break within X Factor, and then we positioned each one of the piece of creative within that same X Factor to drive the biggest amount of impact that evening.
Guess who just got back today? The driving test drive-through one was quite fun and so true. You can see that happening in drive-throughs every day. And I still think them cats are crazy.
I think my favourite one is the story around moving in. It's the familiarity of the brand that plays the central role within that piece of communication that you go, yeah, that's it. And I think that's why that stands out as the sort of strongest piece of work in that campaign.
The moving into the first house was around grand designs, and we had the just past your driving test around things like Top Gear. So it was really that context that played a key role.
Fundamentally, we saw increase in sales. We had good ROI as a result of the campaign, but also we saw our brand metrics move. So we saw brand for someone like me, which is our affinity metric, jump up. So that kind of showed that all around it was a hard-working campaign.
When you think about how you end dates that go badly, if it's bad, it's a handshake. If it's really bad, it's probably a fist pump. If it's atrocious, it's probably like, see you later.
So very unusually for McDonald's, we were actually in the coffee category, a challenger brand.
People think of McDonald's, they don't think necessarily of coffee, and they certainly don't think of great tasting coffee.
So based off of the insight, let's go for a coffee actually means let's go for a chat. We thought that Channel 4 was prime, and instantly we thought let's go straight to Gogglebox. I worked very, very closely with Channel 4 to make sure that we were in the last in break and had specific pieces of creative that were talking about what they'd just seen on Gogglebox.
One born every minute.
Oh, yeah.
You seen it?
Yeah, I like it. That's the amazing people that are involved. They're real superheroes, aren't they?
What was Martha's birth like?
When I held her in my arms, that's the greatest gift you could ever have.
I mean, it truly drove up our brand recognition scores in terms of awareness and consideration. This translated through to sales and translated through to our highest ever ROI across McCafe, and that's still true to this date. So it's fundamentally a promotion whereby you can play the Monopoly game to win a number of tiers of prizes, be it a cheeseburger, be it a mini, be it £100,000 if you're lucky enough. And it's really built that heritage over time. We've had a lot of learnings, and that's filtered through year after year after year.
So Monopoly is something that the whole nation really, really gets behind, and they all wait for it. And in its 11th year, we needed to make it different. So we had a pre-launch campaign with some teasers just to drive that excitement of the campaign. We had the launch phase so that people knew that it was in restaurant. And then we had a sustain phase. One of the big problems with McDonald's Monopoly is that people don't believe people are actually winning. So that's when we introduced copy around the people who have won, the prizes that have been won, and that believability increased during sustain.
So it was our biggest Monopoly ever. We had great brand metrics. We got people coming back. Believability scores were up. It was a true success, and our highest ever ROI for Monopoly as well. So our signature collection is our most premium burger range. So it was developed to kind of start to push us into the IEO category, so the informal eating out category. And this is where the likes of GBK, Byron are coming into play, and people are willing to spend a bit more for a burger, which is great.
We drew inspiration from the world of high-end fashion. And the reason why we did that is because high-end fashion is perceived to be, yes, very expensive, but also incredible quality. And that world of luxury is incredible quality. And so we thought, well, actually, this is the equivalent for McDonald's. We parodied that world, and in doing so, allowed ourselves to sort of draw on the equities of that world and imbue the burger with the quality connotations that you would expect of a very, very high-end world, but delivered it in a sort of quite classic McDonald's tone.
We had to roll it out quite slowly. It had different kind of impact on the restaurant, and we wanted to see how it kind of worked. And therefore we had to do a regional rollout for our product launch. We have never done that before. We usually go national and that's it. So with that, there was a challenge. We needed to find some way of advertising it at scale, but we couldn't use our usual kind of TV metrics. We couldn't just use a national TV buy, which is where we came to a regionally targeted campaign through AdSmart, the biggest that Sky's ever done.
What was really good about AdSmart is the fact that we can measure exposure versus control, which at the scale of McDonald's normal TV is very difficult to do. So we were able to see that ad recall was up 167% and versus exposed versus control, which obviously was excellent from a signature burger point of view.
So the 2017 brief for Christmas was one where we looked at what the role of the brand could be during that time of year, and we sort of strategically landed on this thought that we're not there for the big day, but we're here for the bits of magic along the way. And so was born Reindeer Ready.
You gonna eat that?
It's for the reindeer.
It's a beautiful ad, heartwarming, lovely, and because we had to cut through all the clutter, we needed a really smart campaign. We needed high reach, we needed unique reach through some of our programming, we needed to build up kind of momentum into the campaign and then kind of let it run out by using shorter second links at the end. So some classic TV planning, but absolutely fundamental in terms of making sure that we cut through the clutter.
And then once the campaign had launched with a 90-second piece of creative, we heroed that within the likes of X Factor, Coronation Street, I'm a Celebrity, just to really drive that reach at the start of the campaign.
And it was a real 360 integrated campaign. It flowed through into carrot sticks being rebranded in our stores. There was a beautiful reindeer cam on the night before Christmas, so you could see the reindeers come and eat their carrots. Like, we really thought about all the customer touch points and really linked the campaign together.
Hi, could we please get a bag of carrot sticks for the reindeer and a cheeseburger for Father Christmas?
Daddy, Father Christmas only eats mince pies.
Just the carrot sticks then, please.
And then it's always nice to be able to sort of, tell your nan that you've done something work that she's going to understand and recognise. And so, when you get to see that from the family perspective, everyone sort of reacted to it really incredibly positively. It was our most engaging ad that we've ever made. Reindeer Ready was trending on Christmas Eve with absolutely no paid media.
I think it was the third highest rated TV campaign of the year. No mean feat. We've been doing Christmas campaigns for a while, but to get that level of recognition and support was fantastic. I think because the signature range is just so different, it had a slightly different audience, it had a slightly different price point. We needed to think a bit differently about how we support our most premium burger.
There was a really sort of smart media placement there in terms of taking a premium burger and putting it in quite a premium environment towards a quite premium audience.
All right, Tom. Yeah, not too bad, mate. Knee's still playing up. Take it easy on Tom, boys. Dodgy knee. All right, yeah.
A touch of class.
We found that sponsoring the Six Nations on ITV was key to drive awareness for the signature burger.
So McDonald's has been on an incredible growth journey over the past 10 years, and TV has been a sort of fundamental driver of that in both sort of helping to reshape the brand image, but also drive sales on a consistent and sort of incredibly impressive rate. And I think, testament to that is the fact that the business has just entered its 50th consecutive quarter of growth, which is a phenomenal achievement, particularly in a declining market.
So it just shows kind of the careful optimization that we do every year of our TV campaigns, how we optimize reach, how we optimize effective frequency on a campaign basis, on a portfolio basis is working. Also, really importantly, our move into broadcaster VOD has seen increased returns as well. So we have obviously increased our spend quite fundamentally in this space because of how viewing is changing, and that's working hard for us. So it's putting money back in the bank, and year after year we're seeing it increase. So everyone's very happy.
McDonald's consistently invest in great work, and they put considerable media weight behind that work. There's a hell of a lot of time spent getting to the right idea. Craft and execution is incredibly important, just as much as getting the strategy right up front. There's not one bit where you think, okay, that's fine, we'll just sort of fudge our way through that. It's incredibly rigorous at every stage.
I think the sheer volume of spend that they put into TV means that they have this such a big base of learnings and such an awareness of how TV works for their particular products. And because of that massive base, it means that everything we tweak and everything we move, and how if the market moves, then we understand what impact that has on ROI and effectiveness for McDonald's.
I've always been a massive fan of TV, so to work on a brand like McDonald's that invests so much in a medium that drives emotional engagement, we have brilliant ads, we're super proud of the work that we do.
TV has really helped McDonald's become part of the fabric of the UK. Yes, it's on high streets across the country, but I think its presence in the living rooms of families across the country has been really, really integral in helping it transition from what was an American import into something that's as British as fish and chips now.